In this video, I'm going to teach you how to draw cubes. And like circles and ellipses, I know many different ways to do it. Let's talk about this way. A lot of students already know this way. So you draw two overlapping squares. And then you connect the corners. Pretty easy, but it doesn't help you draw cubes in many different situations, like if the corner is coming towards you. So I have a couple different ways for you to learn. And you end up with the same result, it's just two different ways to do it. Okay, so this one I call diamond method. So draw yourself a long-ish skinny diamond. And if it helps, you can draw yourself a little grid. Make sure it's wider than it is tall. Okay, so you have something that looks like a kite. You can pause that if you need to. Now I'm going to draw 3 lines coming from the corners. These lines need to be the same length. However, the middle line is a little bit lower, so that middle line is going to come down a little bit lower. But you can measure them with a ruler or your fingers. They should be the same length. Okay? And then you can probably guess that you need to draw the bottom now and connect the bottom. Now, one rule that helps is this line right here is going to help you draw the bottom because the line on the bottom of your cube should be parallel to the top of the cube. Okay, and the same thing over here. I need to pay attention to that line because that's going to help me draw that one. And there you go. There's a pretty cool 3D looking cube. Okay. Now I have another way to do it, and I call this the open book method. So you draw yourself what looks like an open book. Okay, it's kind of like it's open and you could be reading it, or someone in front of you is reading it. It's kind of an optical illusion. You can see it 2 ways. Okay, now I'm going to add the top of my box. Now, I like this way because it illustrates things that students do wrong a lot. A lot of times I see tops of the box that look like that. Okay, I call that a house roof. We don't want a house roof. We want our cube to look like it's flat. Okay, so now I'll show you that same rule where I talked about parallel lines. Same with the back of the box, needs to be parallel. So, and I actually draw it longer than I need to. Okay, so I need this line parallel to this line. Okay, and then same thing on this side. This line needs to be parallel to this line. Okay, and I like the lines to overlap each other and cross, and then I can always go back and erase the excess. Okay, and there you have drawing 2 ways to draw a cube. However, I like to show you different ways to draw that cube at different viewpoints and from different angles, and it all has to do with slope or slantiness, as my high school calculus teacher used to say, the slopiness. Okay, imagine when I talk about slantiness or slopiness or an angle, okay, imagine yourself skiing down a hill. Here's my skier with my ski poles. Okay, imagine myself skiing down this hill. Wow, that's a really nice slope. I'm going to get going really fast. That's a pretty steep ski slope. Okay, this is a nice gentle, not as steep. Okay, this one, my skier isn't even moving. All right, and this one, my skier is dead. So when I talk about slants and slopiness, I always think about a skier going down that slope. How steep is that hill? Okay. All right. So when I draw my open book, the slopiness matters. So if I draw one side not very steep, my skier isn't going to go very fast at all. Okay. Then I want to draw the other side of my cube more steep. Okay, so this is not a symmetrical book. Okay, and this shows me, now you can probably maybe see the illusion here, that I'm seeing more of this side of the cube and less of this side of the cube. Now I'm still going to follow that rule of parallels, and so I'm going to follow this parallel, needs to be parallel over here, and this parallel needs to be parallel over here. And I always cross so I can just erase my extra. So there you have a cube at a slightly different angle, and it's all has to do with your slopiness. Okay, let me show one common mistake that I see a lot with cubes. So you might have noticed the pattern now. Cubes are made up of 3 sets of 3 parallel lines. 3 times 3. There are 9 lines in this cube, okay? And 3 of them, 1, 2, 3, are parallel. Now, am I perfect at getting my lines parallel? No, but you got the idea. Those 3 are parallel. These 3 are parallel. And these 3 are parallel. So that's one way to check the accuracy of your cube, is just checking if you have those 3 sets of 3 parallel lines. Okay, let me show you one more common mistake that I see a lot. Say you're doing open book method, and the reason I like lines to overlap is because, and cross, is because sometimes, sorry, I'm trying to think of my example. Sometimes say you drew this line longer than this line. Well, some students think they need to connect the ends of those lines together. I no longer have parallel lines, okay? I'll show you what this ends up looking like. I see this a lot when people are trying to draw cubes, okay? That to me looks more like a computer key. See? Hey, there we go. That's a key on my keyboard. It doesn't look like a cube, and that is because these 2 lines right here are flaring out. They're going outward instead of going straight up and down. Okay. When I'm drawing my cube, my sides of my cube, I want the cliff to be so steep that my skier dies. Okay, not go down the slope. So you can always draw your lines longer and just cross them wherever you want, and you can always erase the extra lines later. All right, and let me just finish up this one so you can see one last cube finished up. Okay, yeah, that's more of a rectangular prism than a cube, but you get the idea. All right, thanks for watching.